When you open your eyes in the morning, before the mind rushes into the noise of the world, there exists a sacred moment. This moment is often ignored, yet it holds the key to both wealth and peace. The ritual is not hidden in a temple or written in an ancient book. It is already within you. When you open your eyes in the morning, the very first moments carry a unique kind of power, a purity untouched by the noise of the world. It is in this brief space of time, before thoughts of responsibilities, worries, or distractions rush in, that your mind is closest to its natural state. To begin the day in silence is to claim this moment and allow it to shape the direction of everything that follows. Many people allow the external world to invade instantly. They reach for their phone, check messages, scroll through news, and within seconds the mind is scattered. Starting in silence, however, is an act of self-mastery, a decision that the first influence on your mind will not be chaos, but calm. When you choose silence, you are creating a sacred boundary, a container that protects your inner energy. You notice the rhythm of your breath, the beating of your heart, the sensation of waking life returning to your body. In this stillness, you connect with yourself before connecting with anything else. Silence in the morning is not emptiness, it is fullness. Within it, you can hear what usually goes unnoticed, the subtleties of your inner voice, the quiet wisdom that is drowned out during the day. It allows you to witness your thoughts instead of being carried away by them. In this witnessing, you discover clarity. Clarity is the soil in which both peace and wealth grow, because without clarity, actions become reactive and scattered. Wealth requires focused intention, and peace requires inner alignment. Both are nourished when the mind is not clouded. Silence opens the door to this sileti, ready. As you sit with yourself, the silence also becomes a mirror. It reflects the state of your emotions. Maybe you notice restlessness. Maybe you feel tension. Maybe you sense calm. Whatever arises, you simply observe without judgment. This awareness allows you to start the day consciously rather than unconsciously. If you feel heaviness, you acknowledge it and release it with your breath. If you feel lightness, you expand it. By giving yourself this space, you no longer carry yesterday's weight into today. There is also a hidden strength in not rushing. The world teaches speed. Wake up, run, check, plan, compete. But when you begin in silence, you are teaching yourself patience. You are affirming that you are in control of your energy, not the other way around. This discipline becomes a quiet form of power. It radiates into your actions, into your decisions, and eventually into the results you create. Wealth and peace are not accidents. They are cultivated states of being, and silence is one of the most fertile grounds where they take root. By giving the first minutes of your morning to silence, you are choosing to plant seeds of awareness, strength, and direction. You're training your mind to listen deeply before it speaks, to pause before it acts, and to connect before it consumes. This is how the day unfolds, not as something that happens to you, but as something you consciously shape. Breathing deeply to center the mind and body is one of the most profound yet simple practices you can carry into your mornings. When you wake up, the body is transitioning from a state of rest into a state of activity, and how you manage this transition determines the tone of the entire day. Many people begin with shallow breaths, moving quickly into tasks, unaware that their breath has already set them into a pattern of stress and urgency. But when you take conscious, deep breaths, you send a signal to both your body and mind that you are present, grounded, and ready to begin with clarity rather than chaos. Deep breathing is not only about oxygen, it is about connection. Each inhale draws in life, each exhale releases what is no longer needed, and through this rhythm, balance is restored. When you focus on your breath, you notice how the mind naturally follows. The scattered thoughts that usually occupy your awareness begin to slow down, aligning themselves with the calm rhythm of inhaling and exhaling. The breath becomes an anchor, something constant that steadies you when everything else feels unstable. By centering the mind in this way, you create space between yourself and your thoughts, and in this space, peace begins to emerge. The body also benefits in ways that are immediate and tangible. Deep breathing regulates the nervous system, reduces tension in the muscles, and wakes up the internal energy channels that often remain dormant. It is as if you are charging your entire system with vitality before stepping into the demands of the day. Centering yourself with breath is also an act of reclaiming control. Throughout the day, external events will attempt to pull your attention in many directions, but starting the morning with breath teaches you that the power of attention is yours. Each inhale is a reminder of presence, each exhale a reminder of release. This practice conditions the mind to remain steady even when challenges arise. Wealth cannot be built on a restless mind, and peace cannot grow in a distracted one. Both require the discipline of centering, and the breath provides the most accessible tool for that discipline. Breathing deeply also connects the body and mind in a way that fosters harmony. Often the body is in one place while the mind races elsewhere, but conscious breathing unites them into one single presence. This alignment produces a state of flow, where thoughts, emotions, and actions can move together in harmony. From this state, decisions become clearer, creativity flows more naturally, and energy is not wasted on unnecessary tension. Such alignment is setting a clear intention for wealth and peace, is a deliberate act of shaping the direction of your day before the world imposes its demands on you. Intention acts like a compass, quietly guiding your thoughts, decisions, and actions toward a specific outcome. Without it, the mind is easily pulled into distraction, and the day unfolds in a scattered way, leaving you feeling as if you were reacting to everything rather than creating anything. In the first moments of the morning, the mind is most impressionable, like soft clay ready to take form. When you speak or visualize your intention, you are giving that clay a shape, and the rest of the day begins to follow that pattern. Wealth and peace may seem like two different destinations, but they are deeply connected. Wealth is not simply the accumulation of resources, it is also the richness of energy, health, and opportunities. Peace is not merely quietness, it is the stability of the mind and heart, even when external conditions fluctuate. By setting an intention for both, you recognize that outer success and inner harmony are not opposites, but companions. To have wealth without peace is emptiness, and to have peace without growth is stagnation. Intention harmonizes them, aligning your energy toward both prosperity and serenity. When you form your intention, it is not about forcing or demanding outcomes, but about aligning yourself with qualities you wish to cultivate. For example, instead of saying "I want money," you may set the intention, "I am open to opportunities that bring value to me and others." Instead of saying "I want peace," you may affirm, "I remain steady and calm no matter what I face today." These types of intentions shift the mind into states that magnetize the experiences you desire. The subconscious begins to filter information differently, noticing opportunities, noticing calmness, and reinforcing behavior that align with the chosen direction. In this way, intention silently influences the course of your actions without effortful struggle. The morning is powerful because it is a fresh canvas. If you leave it blank, others will paint on it through messages, tasks, and external noise. If you paint it yourself with intention, you decide what the foundation will be. This is why many traditions across the world emphasize morning rituals. The early hours carry clarity, and what you place there ripples throughout the day. A clear intention for wealth focuses your energy on growth, discipline, and opportunities, while a clear intention for peace keeps you from being shaken by obstacles. Together, they form a balanced foundation, ensuring that your pursuit of external success is matched by internal stability. Setting intention is also a reminder of responsibility. It is easy to say life is random, but intention teaches you that your energy shapes reality. The words you repeat, the thoughts you hold, the vision you carry, these are seeds. Each morning you are planting something in the soil of your mind. If you plant confusion, you harvest stress. If you plant clarity, you harvest direction. Wealth and peace are not accidents but results of seeds planted consistently. The act of setting intention, setting a clear intention for wealth and peace, is a deliberate act of shaping the direction of your day before the world imposes its demands on you. Intention acts like a compass, quietly guiding your thoughts, decisions, and actions toward a specific outcome. Without it, the mind is easily pulled into distraction, and the day unfolds in a scattered way, leaving you feeling as if you were reacting to everything rather than creating anything. In the first moments of the morning, the mind is most impressionable, like soft clay ready to take form. When you speak or visualize your intenti, you are giving that clay a shape, and the rest of the day begins to follow that pattern. Wealth and peace may seem like two different destinations, but they are deeply connected. Wealth is not. Redefining wealth as health, energy, and relationships changes the way you perceive success and abundance. Too often, wealth is reduced to numbers in a bank account or material possessions, yet history and experience show that money alone cannot guarantee fulfillment. A person may accumulate fortunes and still feel empty, anxious, or unwell. True wealth must be measured more holistically, including the strength of the body, the vitality of the mind, and the quality of the connections you hold with others. When you start the day by reminding yourself of this broader definition, you free yourself from the narrow pursuit of financial gain alone and begin to recognize that your real treasures are already present within and around you. Health is the foundation of all forms of wealth. Without a healthy body, no amount of money can buy consistent joy or productivity. Each breath, each step, each movement becomes difficult when vitality is lacking. By caring for your body, you are securing the most essential form of abundance. Nourishing food, exercise, rest, and mindful breathing are investments that pay greater returns than any financial portfolio. In the morning, when you breathe deeply, stretch, or move with awareness, you are adding to this account of health, and it will serve you in every area of life. This kind of wealth gives you the strength to pursue opportunities and the energy to enjoy what you create. Energy is another form of wealth, though it is often overlooked. A person may have time and resources, but no energy to use them wisely. Energy determines how you show up to each moment. When you wake up with enthusiasm, when your mind feels alert, when your spirit feels alive, you already carry a form of wealth that others can sense. Energy attracts, inspires, and creates. It comes from alignment between body and mind, from purposeful living, and from small daily chase. Oases that nourish rather than deplete you. Beginning the morning by centering your breath, calming the mind, and moving the body gently generates this energy, and that energy becomes the currency you use throughout the day. Relationships are a wealth that expands through sharing. No matter how much financial success someone has, life feels hollow if it is not connected to others in meaningful ways. The respect you earn, the love you cultivate, the kindness you exchange, these are treasures that cannot be bought, yet add immeasurable value to your life. When you recognize relationships as part of your wealth, you begin to invest in listening, supporting, and uplifting others. The quality of these bonds often determines your emotional peace, and that peace is a form of richness that outlasts material gain. Each morning, by practicing gratitude and setting intentions, you can remember the importance of nurturing these connections, making them stronger and more authentic. When wealth is defined in this larger sense, it becomes clear that prosperity is not distant but present. You do not wait for a future moment to feel abundant, you embody it through health, energy, and relationships. This shift changes how you approach goals, how you value experiences, and how you prioritize your time. It allows you to move beyond chasing numbers and into cultivating a life that feels truly rich on every level. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful practices you can bring into your mornings, and it changes the entire lens through which you view life. When the mind wakes up, it often defaults to thinking about what is missing, what needs to be done, or what is not working. This state of lack creates restlessness and dissatisfaction before the day even begins. By consciously shifting into gratitude, you redirect your attention toward what is already present, what is already working, and what is already supporting you. This single shift changes your energy from scarcity to abundance, and that energy determines how you carry yourself into the world. A person who begins the day with gratitude sees possibilities, while a person who begins the day with complaints sees only limitations. Gratitude also recalibrates the mind to recognize value in what is often taken for granted. The ability to breathe, to move, to see the sunrise, to have a safe place to rest, to have food to eat. These are forms of wealth that many overlook until they are gone. When you acknowledge them each morning, you train your awareness to focus on what is present instead of what is missing. This focus creates contentment, and contentment is the foundation of peace. Without gratitude, even great fortunes feel empty, but with gratitude, even small blessings feel abundant. In this way, gratitude multiplies wealth without needing anything external to change. There is also a deep connection between gratitude and relationships. When you feel grateful, you naturally become more kind, more patient, and more generous with others. This creates harmony in your interactions, which strengthens your bonds and deepens your sense of belonging. Gratitude removes the constant hunger to take and instead awakens the desire to give. In giving, you receive more joy, and this joy fuels both peace and prosperity. A person who lives with gratitude attracts support, opportunities, and goodwill because others can feel the sincerity of appreciation flowing from them. Each morning, by remembering the people, the lessons, and the experiences that have shaped you, you begin the day connected to this flow of generosity. On a deeper level, gratitude shifts your internal state from resistance to acceptance. When you are grateful for what is, even if it is not perfect, you stop fighting with life and start flowing with it. This does not mean you stop striving or improving. It means you cultivate peace in the present while still moving toward growth. This balanced state allows you to make clearer decisions because you are not blinded by dissatisfaction. From this clarity, actions become more effective, and effectiveness creates results. Gratitude then becomes not only an emotional practice, but also a practical tool for attracting opportunities and building sustainable wealth. Morning gratitude does not need to be complicated. It can be as simple as speaking 3 things aloud, writing them down, or reflecting on them silently during your breath practice. The key is consistency, because repeated gratitude carves new patterns in the brain. Over time, this practice rewires your perspective so that abundance becomes your default way of seeing life. And when abundance becomes your default, wealth and peace follow naturally. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful practices you can bring into your mornings, and it changes the entire lens through which you view life. When the mind wakes up, it often defaults to thinking about what is missing, what needs to be done, or what is not working. This state of lack creates restlessness and dissatisfaction before the day even begins. By consciously shifting into gratitude, you redirect your attention toward what is already present, what is already working, and what is already supporting you. This single shift changes your energy from scarcity to abundance, and that energy determines how you carry yourself into the world. A person who begins this. Moving the body gently to awaken energy flow is a practice that carries far more depth than physical exercise alone. When you wake up in the morning, your body has been still for many hours. The circulation is slower, the muscles are tight, and the energy channels within you are not yet fully active. By introducing gentle movement, whether through stretching, breathing exercises, or mindful flow, you stimulate these channels and allow energy to circulate freely. This circulation not only refreshes the body, but also clears the mind, creating a harmony between physical vitality and mental clarity. Just as stagnant water becomes unhealthy over time, stagnant energy in the body leads to heaviness and restlessness. Gentle movement is the way you prevent stagnation and invite flow. The type of movement in the morning does not need to be intense. In fact, it is the gentleness that allows awareness to deepen. Simple stretches that open the spine, movements that expand the chest, or even mindful walking can be enough to awaken the system. Each movement becomes a bridge between body and mind, a way of telling yourself that you are ready to engage with life. As the body loosens, the breath naturally deepens, and as the breath deepens, the mind becomes calmer. This cycle of movement, breath, and awareness generates an energy that feels both grounding and uplifting at the same time. Energy flow is also about balance. In daily life, energy can become blocked by stress, tension, or emotional strain. This blockage shows itself as fatigue, irritability, or lack of focus. When you move in the morning with mindfulness, you dissolve these blockages before they harden into patterns. Stretching the muscles, aligning the posture, and breathing into areas of tightness allows energy to move where it was previously stuck. This creates a sense of openness in both the body and the mind. With this openness, the challenges of the day no longer feel like heavy burdens, but like currents you can flow with. Another dimension of morning movement is its symbolic nature. Each gesture, each breath, each step can be seen as a statement of awakening. You are not just moving muscles, you are reminding yourself of your aliveness. This reminder builds confidence and presence. When the body feels strong and the energy flows freely, the mind carries a natural sense of optimism and readiness. Others around you can sense this energy because it radiates outward. It is not just personal well-being, it is also an influence that shapes your environment. People are drawn to those whose energy is flowing freely because it feels like a source of vitality and calm. Wealth and peace are supported by this flow because energy is the foundation on which both rest. Without energy, wealth is difficult to pursue and peace is difficult to maintain. With energy, you have the strength to work toward goals and the calm to enjoy the process. Gentle movement in the morning ensures that you are not starting the day with heaviness, but with circulation, vitality, and presence. It aligns the body with the mind and prepares both to move in harmony with the unfolding day. Aligning thoughts, emotions, and actions with purpose is the key to living with clarity and direction rather than confusion and conflict. Many people move through life with fragmented energy. They think one thing, feel another, and do something entirely different. This lack of alignment creates inner tension, wasted effort, and a sense of being lost even while appearing busy. The morning offers the perfect moment to realign yourself before the noise of the world pulls you apart. By consciously bringing your thoughts, emotions, and actions into harmony, you create a powerful force that carries you steadily toward your intentions for wealth and peace. Thoughts are the seeds from which everything begins. They shape perception, influence emotions, and eventually guide behavior. When thoughts are scattered, unkind, or negative, they plant seeds of doubt and fear that echo throughout the day. But when thoughts are focused and purposeful, they provide a clear direction for where you want to go. Aligning your thoughts in the morning can be as simple as repeating a phrase that reflects your vision, visualizing the outcomes you want to create, or reminding yourself of the values you want to embody. This mental clarity ensures that your mind does not wander aimlessly, but instead becomes a guide toward your chosen path. Emotions are the fuel that either strengthens or weakens those thoughts. A thought without emotional energy quickly fades, but when emotion is aligned with thought, it becomes powerful. If you set an intention for growth but feel fear or doubt, your energy is divided and progress is slowed. If you set an intention for peace but allow anger or resentment to dominate, your emotional state contradicts your goal. Aligning emotions means cultivating feelings that support the vision you hold. Gratitude, joy, confidence, and calm are emotions that amplify constructive thoughts. By practicing breathwork, mindfulness, or gratitude in the morning, you shift your emotional state into alignment with your desired direction. This emotional resonance acts like a magnet, drawing experiences that match your inner state. Actions are the physical expression of thoughts and emotions. Without aligned action, intentions remain unrealized. It is easy to think positively and feel inspired in the morning, but unless those states are translated into deliberate actions, nothing changes. Aligned action does not mean taking massive steps immediately. It means that even the smallest choices during the day reflect your purpose. Each conversation, each task, each habit becomes a reflection of the inner state you cultivated in the morning. When thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned, there is no inner conflict, no wasted energy, and no confusion about direction. Life feels smoother, and opportunities flow more naturally toward you because you are not working against yourself. This alignment creates integrity, and integrity builds trust both within yourself and with others. When you consistently think, feel, and act in harmony, you experience confidence because you are no longer pulled in different directions. Others can sense this harmony and are more likely to trust, respect, and support you. In this way, aligning thoughts, emotions, and actions becomes a foundation not only for personal peace, but also for attracting wealth, as opportunities are drawn to those who radiate clarity and consistency. Life reflects the state you cultivate each morning because the quality of your inner world determines how you perceive and interact with the outer world. When you wake up and immediately allow stress, distraction, or negativity to enter, you carry that vibration into every task, every conversation, and every decision. The world appears chaotic because your mind began in chaos. In the same way, when you begin the day with calmness, gratitude, and intention, the same external circumstances feel different because your perception has shifted. Life itself may not change in an instant, but the way you meet it changes, and that difference alters outcomes in subtle yet powerful ways. The morning is like the root of a tree. If the root is nourished with clarity and balance, the branches throughout the day grow strong. If the root is neglected, the branches wither under pressure. Each morning gives you the opportunity to nourish your root by cultivating a state that will later manifest in the results you see. This is why the simple act of beginning in silence, breathing deeply, and setting intentions has such profound impact. It is not only about those few minutes, it is about the ripple effect that carries into everything you touch afterward. The conversations you have, the choices you make, and the opportunities you notice are all colored by the state you established when the day began. Energy works like a mirror. If you cultivate frustration in the morning, you will notice more reasons to be frustrated. If you cultivate gratitude, you will find more reasons to be grateful. The external world reflects back the frequency you carry within. This is why inner work in the morning is not a luxury, but a necessity. It is a form of preparation, not for avoiding challenges, but for facing them with the strength and clarity they require. Your state is the lens, and through that lens, Fi is filtered. Change the lens, and life begins to look different even if the circumstances remain the same. This reflection is also what attracts wealth and peace. Opportunities tend to flow toward those who are focused, calm, and clear, because they are able to see and act on possibilities others overlook. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate steadiness, trust, and positivity. These qualities are not random traits but cultivated states, and the cultivation begins each morning. Just as you cannot expect a harvest without planting, you cannot expect life to reflect abundance and harmony if you do not first plant them within yourself at the start of the day. Every morning becomes a chance to plant seeds of clarity, gratitude, and energy that later return as external rewards. Life is always responding to you, whether you are aware of it or not. The outer reflects the inner with precision, like water reflecting the sky. If you look closely, you will see that your mornings set the tone not just for your mood, but for the quality of your entire experience. To cultivate wealth and peace in your life, you must first cultivate them in the quiet moments after you wake, for that is when the mirror of life begins to take shape. Consistency in ritual builds inner and outer wealth, because repetition carves patterns that become the foundation of your life. One action performed once may feel inspiring, but it does not create transformation. True change is born from what you do every day, from the practices that become part of your rhythm until they no longer require effort but flow naturally. The morning ritual of silence, breath, intention, gratitude, and movement is powerful not because it is done occasionally, but because it is repeated so often that it shapes your mind, body, and spirit. Consistency is what turns a practice into a habit, and a habit into a way of being. When you practice a ritual consistently, the mind begins to recognize it as a signal. Each time you sit in silence or breathe deeply, the mind understands that this is the moment to settle, to focus, to prepare. Over time, this conditioning becomes automatic. The nervous system responds more quickly, the body relaxes more easily, and the thoughts align more naturally. What once felt like effort becomes effortless. This effortless state is the result of consistent training, and it frees your energy for deeper growth. Just as a musician becomes skilled not through one practice session, but through daily dedication, you cultivate peace and prosperity through the discipline of repeating your morning ritual. Consistency also builds trust within yourself. Each time you keep your commitment to practice, you reinforce the message that your word to yourself matters. This self-trust is a form of wealth because it strengthens confidence. Many people struggle not because they lack ability, but because they lack consistency, breaking promises to themselves until their self-belief weakens. When you honor your ritual every morning, even for a few minutes, you are strengthening the foundation of trust that allows you to aim higher and reach further. This quiet discipline becomes a hidden force behind all visible success. Another aspect of consistency is momentum. Small actions, when repeated, gather force over time. A single breath does little, but thousands of breaths practiced daily bring clarity and calm. A single stretch may loosen the body temporarily, but daily movement builds strength, flexibility, and vitality. Gratitude expressed once may shift your mood, but gratitude expressed daily rewires your perception of life. Momentum created by consistency builds a reservoir of energy and resilience that supports you when challenges appear. Instead of starting from zero, you already carry the strength of your practice within you. Consistency is also what bridges the gap between inner and outer wealth. Inner peace, clarity, and discipline are cultivated in the private moments of ritual, but they express themselves outwardly in the form of better decisions, stronger relationships, greater focus, and wiser use of opportunities. Without consistency, the bridge between inner and outer remains weak, but with it, both realms reinforce one another. The wealth you create externally becomes more stable because it rests on the steady foundation of inner strength, and the peace you cultivate within is protected because it is renewed every single morning. Life reflects the state you cultivate each morning because the quality of your inner world determines how you perceive and interact with the outer world. When you wake up and immediately allow stress, distraction, or negativity to enter, you carry that vibration into every task, every conversation, and every decision. The world appears chaotic because your mind began in chaos. In the same way, when you begin the day with calmness, gratitude, and intention, the same external circumstances feel different because your perception has shifted. Life itself may not change in an instant, but the way you meet it changes, and that difference alters outcomes in subtle yet powerful ways. The morning is like the root of a tree. If the root is nourished with clarity and balance, the branches throughout the day grow strong. If the root is neglected, the branches wither under pressure. Each morning gives you the opportunity to nourish your root by cultivating a state that will later manifest in the results you see. This is why the simple act of beginning in silence, breathing deeply, and setting intentions has such profound impact. It is not only about those few minutes, it is about the ripple effect that carries into everything you touch afterward. The conversations you have, the choices you make, and the opportunities you notice are all colored by the state you established when the day began. Energy works like a mirror. If you cultivate frustration in the morning, you will notice more reasons to be frustrated. If you cultivate gratitude, you will find more reasons to be grateful. The external world reflects back the frequency you carry within. This is why inner work in the morning is not a luxury, but a necessity. It is a form of preparation, not for avoiding challenges, but for facing them with the strength and clarity they require. Your state is the lens, and through that lens, Fi is filtered. Change the lens, and life begins to look different even if the circumstances remain the same. This reflection is also what attracts wealth and peace. Opportunities tend to flow toward those who are focused, calm, and clear because they are able to see and act on possibilities others overlook. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate steadiness, trust, and positivity. These qualities are not random traits but cultivated states, and the cultivation begins each morning. Just as you cannot expect a harvest without planting, you cannot expect life to reflect abundance and harmony if you do not first plant them within yourself at the start of the day. Every morning becomes a chance to plant seeds of clarity, gratitude, and energy that later return as external rewards. Life is always responding to you, whether you are aware of it or not. The outer reflects the inner with precision, like water reflecting the sky. If you look closely, you will see that your mornings set the tone not just for your mood, but for the quality of your entire experience. To cultivate wealth and peace in your life, you must first cultivate them in the quiet moments after you wake, for that is when the mirror of life begins to take shape.